Hello everyone, welcome to a new episode of T-shirt design tutorial. So today I am going to talk about some basic techniques that we can use. So for becoming a better designer, you need to make your own graphics, because if you want to work on Fiverr or any other marketplace where you will be working for a client, then you need to start making your own graphic. And making your own graphic does not mean it needs to be very detailed like a skeleton riding motorcycle, something like that, but you can start with the very basic things. First you need to understand how it's made, and then you can try of your own. If it is, it will not become the very best at the first, but with practice it will be better. So let's say first of all I want to create a mountain related or outdoor adventure related t-shirt design today, or a logo design today. So for doing that I need to take a mountain from internet, or I need to take it from free pick, but instead of taking it from another place, you can just make your own. So how can you do that? First step is search for an picture, an image. So images are really good examples, because if you are not a very professional artist you will need references. So let's say I am going to use a mountain picture, and for doing that I am going to use this picture. So this is a image of a mountain. I am not going to use it, I am going to make my own version of it. So this is going to be the mountain, and then for making an outdoor style design like this I need to use some trees. So you can see this is also a good example of image. We can use this one and we can illustrate the scenario here, as you can see. So first step is we need to understand how this kind of graphics are made. So for doing that we need to see professionals work. So if you search like this mountain graphics like this or something like this, so you can search like mountain graphic, it will, you will find different images like this. So this one is I'm going to use as an example to understand how they are drawing these images. So as you can see, for I'm talking about this one, so they are not drawing every detail of it, they are just using outline. So let me show you. If you if you look closely, so this is the outline which is they are drawing or creating, and this is all connected to each other. So this is the outline, and then they are drawing some shadow parts. So these are the shadow parts. This is just some basic graphics like this, some pencil strokes you can see, and then they are drawing that same thing for different areas where the shadows are, and then the rest is staying empty. So this is a really good example, or this is really easy. You can just, anyone can make this kind of graphics. So for doing that we need to understand the highlight and shadow. So this part here, as I was saying, we need to understand two things. One is the highlight, where it is the highlighted part, there is no shadow here, and then another part is the shadow part, so where it is the shadow. You can see, if we can see these two things in images we can definitely make a graphic out of that. So let's say I'm going to use this one. This is, I wanted to make a design like with this one, but then I find this one really interesting. So first step is we need to understand what is going on here. So there is some mountain in the background, and there is a road going on like this, as you can see, and this is some kind of forest scenery. So we will create that, and for a outdoor adventure you will always see there are some trees in the mountains like these examples here. So I was searching like mountain trees, and you will find this kind of trees. These are the pine trees or something similar trees. I don't know all of their names, but these are the basic trees you will find when you are working with outdoor or mountain kind of designs. So we can just simply take any tree we like, and then we can illustrate that in our design. So this is the main thing. So I'm going to show you both options here. So this is my first mountain image. I'm going to reduce the opacity here just little bit so that I can see. Now I'm going to lock it. So I am using my keyboard shortcut. So I don't know where that goes here. So I can show you my keyboard shortcuts here, and I'm selecting this image and pressing Ctrl 1. So Ctrl 1 is my shortcut for lock. You have to set your own shortcut here. Just go to edit, keyboard shortcuts. Okay. So this is the mountain image you can see. first step is we need to create that outline, which is the all connected part. So for doing that, I am going to first of all make sure that it is okay. So I'm going to unlock it. So I need to make this part on in the center. So I'm going to create a copy of this mountain, then I'm going to reflect it something like this. So I will have a image like this. So you can see now my that part is in the center position of the image. I'm going to select this one, crop image, then I'm going to crop it here, then click on apply. It is going to stay as it is. As you can see, this is how it is looking. Don't worry about this area, we'll fix that. So selecting these two, I'm going to lock them now. So first step is I need to draw that outline, and for doing that I'm going to take my this black fill, and from here I'm going to take my pencil tool here. You can use brush tool, you can use pen tool, any other tool you prefer. I'm using the pencil tool. So first step is I am going to draw. I'm using my mouse here, so you don't need to worry about having any graphic tablet. And then I'm going to go back to create a fill like this. Okay, so you can double click on this pencil tool and then make sure that fidelity is something around here, not all the way up. Something around this area is fine. Click OK. So again I'm going to use my that pencil tool to draw the outline. Just make sure a bold line. I don't want it too thin like this. I want it something like this. So if there is a mistake, I can always fix that by drawing over that part. So that is good. Now that part looks good. This much, this position is good. Now I'm going to draw it from here, something like this. That is good. And for here I'm just going to draw some random shapes just like this. So as you can see, this is the outer part of my graphic and this is fine. So first step is we need to find out the highlight and shadow. So if you look closely here, this is the area that is being highlighted. Like the sun is hitting here, the light is hitting here, there is no shadow in this area, but these are the shadow area. You can see this is the shadow part of the graphic, and we are going to just draw that. So how to do that? First step is I'm going to take my pencil tool again. So this is the shadow part. I'm going to just draw the shadow like this. Just make sure you are covering all the area just like this, doesn't matter. And there is a shadow part here, you can see. I'm just going to add some of my own ideas to the shadow just like this. And from here you can see this is another shadow area, something like this is going to work for us. So that is good. And then from here this is another shadow area just like this. And with practice you will be able to understand it better. If you work with 10 graphics or 10 images, you will know what is the shadow is, where the highlight is. It will be really easy for you to understand the process just like this. So you can see I am not drawing anything super complex or anything that a professional artist can do. Only anyone can do this. I am not an artist, I'm a designer. So a designer and artist is different. So this is how it is going to look right now. Don't worry about all the other areas. So for a shadow or a mountain trail, we need to focus something like this, that the shadows should come from the top of the mountain like this, and then it will just going to join to that part again. So for here I'm going to draw that similar style shadows just like this. And then there is another part of the mountain which is in the foreground, which is covered in all shadows. So I'm going to draw some of that part. I'm going to keep that area which is showing like a highlighted part, and then this is fine, just a block shape like this. So as you can see here, this is how it is going to look. My mountain graphic is looking like this, and that is fine. For this area I will add something else, and Okay, so I am going to just select this, then I'm going to make a copy of it, just bring it a little bit down, make it a little smaller, then select this two, I'm going to make it minus front. So this is the area that I wanted to keep here. I don't wanted that blocky line. So something like this, I'm going to join this area because that will be a little problem for me when I will use the transparency here, something like this. Okay, so this is good to go. Now this is the mountain part is ready for us. Let's make it a group. So you can simply make a mountain graphic like this. As you can see here, this is how it is going to look. Then you can add some trees, of course. I'm going to reduce the opacity here. So all you need to do is just draw these random shapes here. It doesn't have to be any perfect. Just make sure that you are getting the tree shape perfectly, something like this. And then I'm going to just reflect it, make a copy and reflect it, something like this. In this area I will be adjusting the position of them, something like this. So this is going to work for me. Now this is the basic random shape, and now if you want to add details to it, you can do that. And for doing that, you can simply add some curves to the trees like this, something like this. It is going to make it look a little better than what it is right now. So something like that will work for us. Maybe we can add that kind of thing here, maybe another part here. So just like this, it doesn't have to be very specific because it is going to be really a small part of our design. No one is going to notice the details of it because it will not be visible. So if you want, you will not be able to notice the difference. Now I'm just going to make it like this. So this is the very basic, the very easiest way of making your own graphics. So this is how it is going to be. I'm going to just make it smaller, maybe like this. So I can simply place it around here in this area. So maybe 2 3 trees on top of the first mountain, that we first layer of the mountain, maybe one here, just to make it look like there is multiple levels of the mountains, just like this. Maybe another one here. Okay, sorry. So I'm going to make a copy of it in this position. So one thing I'm trying, which is to cover the part of the mountain or the side of the mountain which is going to end with the trees, inside the trees. So if I select this one, I'm going to now delete this part. I don't need that. So this is how it is going to be. And now you have your design created here. I don't want these trees to look like this, so we can simply just draw some random shapes here to make it look like a ground or something. They are standing on grounds like this, reflected that. And then we can just add some more details to this area just to make it feel something like this. So this is how we can make a simple looking landscape scenario like this. You can see they are using multiple levels of trees, they are placing like right here. That you can do, you can just make your own elements, you can add your own elements. We can add a sun here which will be like this. I'm going to select this mountain, create a offset path for it. Okay, that is too big. Maybe like this, make sure it is round, click OK, cut it. Now selecting this sun, open transparency, press Ctrl F to look like this. Make sure merge unite. So merge unite is going to fill this, and that is why I added those small lines to join my this lower graphics. So you can see this is how it is looking. Now we can again use this ellipse here, make a copy ellipse here like this. Okay, not like that, maybe something like this. Then use this minus front, then rotate this, Ctrl C, Ctrl F, Ctrl R, which is copy, paste in front, and then reflect. Place it like this, press shift M for shape builder tool, and we have our bird here. So we can place a bird in this area. Maybe we can add multiple of them. So make sure to make them a little smaller than the previous one, because the one in the front should look bigger and the ones in the distance should look smaller. So this is how you can simply make a mountain graphics. This is not any professional graphic, but you will see tons of different images like this. You can use your own graphics like this. You can upload them to different stock websites like freepik or other websites, and you can use your this in your design. So this is the way of illustrating things in a very basic way. So if we want to illustrate this area here, you need to make it, you need to take your time, you need to make them detailed, as details as possible. Like I want to create this scenery here, I want to illustrate this one here. So first step is I need to make sure where I will keep my highlight, where I will keep my shadows. So as you can see, this is a road going down here, this is a rail line or train road. So I need to keep this as the highlighted part. So I will draw shadows just on this side of the line. So it will just keep it like a this center part, this will be a gap. So I just want to draw some random lines here just to make this will be the shadow part, and this is going to be the highlighted area or the empty space that we want to create. So let's try. I'm going to take my pencil tool again, and don't worry about any of the other details right now. Just now I am just going to draw some random lines here, just make it a little curvy so that it falls into a artistic way. So something like this in my opinion. So that is fine. Then I'm going to reflect it for this area. So sometimes it will not match with the perspective here, but I think this much is fine. So here I want to create this railway road, and this time I'm going to use my pen tool because these lines needs to be straight, something like this, so that it looks good. So you can see this is not matching, but we can fix that by using direct selection tool to bring on here, and then another one we will bring something like this to make that, to illustrate that train line or something. So in this area I am going to just cover this part with these trees. You can draw some random shapes here. These are not the important part, it doesn't have to be exactly or very similar to, okay, so we can simply use our these trees here. These are more of the tree shapes than what I just draw. So one here, maybe one in a bigger size. So you can see this is how it is going to look. Don't worry about it. These areas I am going to keep it as the bold black line. So this is how it is going to be. You have to make this look like trees, so that will take some time to make it. Let's just make some small shapes here to fill this area. Now here I am going to just add some of these tree shapes. So this should be in this size, and if some of them is recognizable as trees, then the other will just look fine. Maybe one here, but the far it is going, the smaller it should be. So something like this. Now in this area I'm going to just select everything from this part except this one. Make a copy, reflect it just like this, and this is how it is going to look. And it is looking very generic, like everything is very similar to the opposite side, which is not really good. So for this one, as I was saying, you need to take your time to create your own graphics so that you can add these details to it. So this trees, if I was using my graphic tablet, it would be better, but it doesn't have to be that much specific. If you don't have one, you can just use your mouse and pencil tool as I am using here. So just like this, I don't have that much time to make it look like that. So that is fine, let's just use it here. So let's make it a little narrow so that it looks like a different tree. So as you can see, this is how it is going to look right now, and then there is the mountain in the background. So first step is I am using very blocky lines here, like all these areas are blocked with black. So I am not going to use that same for this mountain, and this mountain will be really easier because there are some black and white you can see. So if I keep this white as the highlight part, then the dark black will be the darkest part. That is really simple and easy. So all I need to do is, this tree is going to be the baseline, I will not go outside of that tree. So first of all is I need to draw this outline just like this, and this part of course. Okay, so this is fine. Now this mountain is starting from here, so it is really important to understand where it is going and where it is starting. So that is good. And here I am going to just take it inside my drawing like this. So for this area I'm just going to make it look like this, and then you can see there are multiple levels of the mountain. So this is another part of the mountain, this is another part, so we can simply draw another shapes like this to indicate the second part of the mountain. Just the outline for the first step, we will add details later. So this is roughly how it is looking. Maybe I can add something like this from this area to make this look like another part of the mountain or something like this. So that is fine. Now I need to add the details. So this time I am just going to use this blacks as the dark part and white will remain as the lightest part. Sometimes just make some areas look like this, so that is good. And in this area I'm going to just follow these lines. You need to take your time to make it look really good, and try to keep the whites as many as much as you can. So in this area I'm going to keep that white part. So I'm going to just move it around the white, you can see, and that will keep that part. Here also I will just do the same, something like this. So this is how you need to add details to all of this, and that is really going to take some time for here. So I'm going to just do it as fast as I can. So that is area is looking good. From here I will just keep this white part. So when I am drawing outside of the white border area, I need to go back to the original area where I started. So something like this will be fine, that will keep the white part. Also from here I am going to just draw outside of the white area, then of course I need to go back to the original point here. So that is the main part of this kind of drawing, to understand where you are starting and where you should come back to join the part. That is fine. So I'm going to draw it starting from here, then just going to keep the white parts. This is not a very interesting video, but it will help you understand the illustration process. And if you want to do a better designer, with time you should make your own graphics. There will be no copyright, there will be no client issue, anything. You can always say this is what I created for you. So you will have your own power in them. In that, if you are using a stock graphic which anyone can find and like show your client that this is a image taken from the internet, he can make travel for you because he is paying you to make something for him, and you cannot just take someone else's work and sell it to him. We take it, doesn't, it's not like we never take any others work, but we need to take some time because not everything we can draw as a designer. So in sometimes in some cases we need to take others graphic, but it's better to discuss it with client that I am not this artist, this is some traditional artist work, so I need to take some inspiration, some examples to make a design like this. So as you can see, this is how it is looking now. It's almost done. I'm going to remove these two lines because I want to make it look like a normal road going or something like that. So I'll just use my pen tool again. So just like this, instead of two tracks, I'm going to make it one in this area, and then I'm going to take my eraser tool to erase some parts like this, which will make it look like a road. So as you can see, this is how it is looking. Don't worry, we can make a good graphic with this. So this is how it is looking. This is not a very best way of illustrating, and if you want, you can make it better. Like I want to make it group all together, then I am going to open transparency, and with transparency open, I can now draw in this part. Like I want to keep some details to this area of the mountain because that is all black, I don't want it. So you can see now I can see where to keep the shapes to make some extra details in the mountain. If you want to make it look like you want to create some details for this trees too, you can do that. Like I want to create another tree line, something like this. With this area I can simply draw it right here, and this is how it is going to look. Maybe just I will reflect it in this area, so something like this. Now this is not really important, you can just, as a beginner, you can just keep it simple like this. Now let's try to make a graphic, make a design out of it. So I'm going to use a ellipse here. So ellipse is going to be the border of my design. Make sure that whatever you are drawing is not wasted. You can keep all of it inside the design part. So this is how it is going to look right now. I'm going to select this one, copy this, then I'm going to select everything, right click and make clipping mask. Clipping mask will look like this, then press Ctrl F again. Because we have copied this shape, it is now looking like this. So everything is inside the area and it is looking good. If you have any issue like this, small areas here, you can come inside the clipping mask to place or adjust those areas. Like, okay, so not like that one. I want to place a tree on this area, that is fine. So this is how it is going to look, and then you can of course make your own, you can add your own text here. So I'm going to select this ellipse, I'm going to make an offset path, but inside offset path in negative direction. Then I'm going to use type on a path tool, click here, adventure awaits. I'm going to change it to a font. Let's say I'm going to use it this font, or maybe this. Let's use this Anton font. This is a Google font. This is the very common type of font you will find on Google, and this is of course free to use in any personal and commercial projects. So this is how it is going to look. I'm going to make it a bit space here. Uh, okay, so this is how it is going to look. Explore the mountains. And this one I can simply use a different font. Maybe I will use this Billion Dreams font and no space between them, just like this. A little bit fancy looking font. So explore the mountains, I'm going to make it look like this. If this is a logo or something, you are working for a company or any client, you can add something like this, some details like this one. So I'm going to keep it. Okay, so this one I'm going to make it really big because this is the main focus point of my this design. I'm going to break it, then place in the position like this. Go to object, transform and shear. Okay, so before doing that, let's say I want to use this explore the. I want to use it in a smaller way, something like this. Let's use it here. Come on. So it should not take this much time. So this is how it is going to look like. Explore the mountains. I'm going to select this one, Control C, Control F. I'm going to make it little bigger. Then again I'm going to align it with the main ellipse here so that I can place it where it was. Let's say outdoor adventure is calling, explore the mountain. So you can see, okay, not like that. I need to make it aligned with my this graphics. So this one I'm going to make it a little bit smaller, then maybe a bit increase the space. So you can see this is how you can make a simple graphic out of nothing, out of an image. And this is not really very professional looking or very artistic, but it will work. And if you are working like this for your client, they will be happy because there will be no copyrights, there will be no taking others work. You can work like this in every platform. You can upload this kind of designs on stock sites like freepik, adobe stock, shutterstock, creative fabrica, and you can work like this on Fiverr, Upwork, freelancer, any website you want. So that's all for today's video, guys. I hope this was helpful. Okay, so before doing the okay, so one more last thing that I want to show you. This is a all black design, so let me just make it a group. If you want to make a white version of it, what you will do, because if you just make it, I'm placing a background which you can see. So if you are going to select this one, then I'm going to expand everything from here. And then if you want to, you know, to double click, if you want to select everything with magic wand tool. Okay, so as this is like, this is a, there is a clipping mask here. If you select the graphic directly and try to change its color, this is what will happen. So this is not the perfect way. So you need to double click here so that it isolates, nothing else can be selected. And here you can select your magic wand tool and select the black, and then you can change it to white like this. So you can see this is how it is going to look. And then from here I'm going to change it to black so that it looks good. So this is how you can make it black and white. Also there is another way you can make it black and white, which is really cool. So if I select everything from here, I'm just going to make everything black again, and then I will just create a ellipse here just like this. Okay, so I don't need that. I can select this ellipse, Control C, then deselect everything, press Control B, so that will be pasted just below everything. And here you can select merge unite. So merge unite will make it one single color, and here take your eyedropper and make this the white color. So you can see this is how it is going to look. You can select this one, you can make it a little bit bigger maybe, so that will look like a border. And you can see this is how you can make it colorful. So this is the right way, not the previous one. Let me show you one more time. I'm going to cut this, and I'm going to select everything black. I'm going to make it all white. So this is not the perfect way of colorizing your graphic. As you can see, this two is looking little different, but with the perfect way, if you select everything, then if you press the white background in the back, this is the perfect way of colorizing your graphic. And also you need to just make sure these blacks are matching with the background. So you need to select this one, this white background or whatever it is. So you need to make it a little bit. Okay, so that is the one I already, I'm going to cut this. So this is the main graphic, and here I'm going to press Ctrl B because not inside the clipping mask. So this is how it is going to be. So as you can see, these blacks are now visible on top of everything, and these two graphics are looking exactly same. If you want to make it a one single color design, so you can do that too. Just make it a color like this, that is good. Now select everything from here which is in black, cut it. Okay, you need to go inside. This is the black layer, cut it. Come on, I need to select everything except this black background, then cut it. select this black, open transparency, press Ctrl F here. So you can see you need to make sure it is everything is complete black, as this is how it is showing. Let's try to select it with magic wand and make sure it is complete black, and you can see this is how it can be. So it is going to be a complete one color design. So whatever shirt color you will choose, that will be see through the design. Okay, so that's it for today's video, guys. I hope it was helpful. This is after a long time I'm making tutorials, and I will try to make some more regularly. So that's it for today's video. See you in the next one, guys. Have a great time. Thank you.